Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Isabel Yap, and I'm here to introduce a new way of banking with Komo. So, first, before we begin the presentation, let me introduce myself and my co speaker, Krisha. I'm Isabel Yap, ISA for short. I'm the business head for Komo, and I also serve as the Senior Assistant Vice President at East West Bank. And I'm also an executive director at the bank. I have with me Krisha Cruz, who will be joining us on the talk. She's the Chief Product Officer for Como. So before we begin, I also wanted to thank the organizers of PH Startup Week for inviting us to speak and everyone who is joining us here today. Without further ado, we'll start now with the presentation. Okay. So today I was brought to talk really about how we created Como and to structure about how we went about doing things. We will talk about really three main topics. So the first is, the origin story or why we built Como. The second, we wanted to describe also a little bit, of course, on what is Como. And the third is, describing how did Como grow and where do we actually go from here? What's in store for Como moving forward? So I'll be going through the first two sections, and Krisha will then discuss the third and final section of the presentation. Okay, so moving on. So what's the first step? Really is why did we build Como? Well, the first step was really to start with a hypothesis when we wanted to really think about having a digital banking service. We wanted to start with an idea, and our hypothesis always centered around the question of how might we innovate traditional banking. And this was really the central question we posed to ourselves as a team when building Como up. Now, to answer this hypothesis, we kind of looked also at the state of Philippine banking and what were some of the unmet needs or pain points that industry had or what the customers were facing at the time. And just for context, this was us looking at it, in an angle of about 20, it was the year of 2019. What did we see? Firstly, we saw that most banks were giving pretty low interest rates, which really translated into lower savings for customers. This was important because based on a 2019 survey on financial inclusion by the BSP, we knew that actually interest rates were the second most important consideration for people when opening accounts. And relatedly, we also saw that another pain point was, banks were also charging, high fees to customers. And, this was another major considerations that customers were looking at when opening a bank account. So even just the top two, considerations were already quite a challenge for customers today. And at the time, lastly, we also knew that for customers, bank transactions were largely offline. Digitization was very nascent then. And only about 10% of adults use their phones or the internet for their financial transactions. And hence, we saw that there was really an opportunity here for banking and possibly, digital banking for the country. So, shifting from the industry side, we also wanted to look at it also from the customer side in terms of their willingness to actually try kind of digital banking. And according to a study by Backbase, about 3 in 5 bankable customers are actually more willing to adopt a digital banking experience. We at Como also conducted similar studies, and we saw about 60% of potential customers were also open to trying digital banks. So further brought about by the pandemic, this meant that actually in summary that customers were willing to adopt, right? So therefore we established that really there was a what you would call a product market fit, where a digital banking proposition, which was the product we had in mind, actually fit the market, because we saw that the market where our customers were potentially had many underserved needs, and that could be potentially addressed by our product. And so with the call of the times plus the desire for change, we actually formed Komo. And so that really is the sort of the origin story of Komo. It is today, right? And so Komo, we also kind of say as a phrase, control mong pera mo. And I'll kind of talk more about that in subsequent slides. So that's kind of like a quick background about why we built Como. Let me move now to the second section, which is, of course, what is Como? So Como is an exclusively digital banking service that allows customers to open and manage their accounts from their phone. So in short, everything is actually done on the mobile phone, so it's completely digital, and therefore really kind of hassle free for our customers. On the next slide, this is a question we get asked quite a lot, right? Like, why Como, or what does it mean? Actually, we came up with Como because it was a shortcut again to control mong pera mo, and hence it's Como. We wanted to actually focus on the control aspect of banking, and we wanted to bring control to our customers in terms of managing their expenses and managing their finances. And so they didn't need to go to the bank, as a previous behavior was, but actually the bank would really go to them and it would be at their fingertips, right? So we wanted to focus on the control and flexibility aspect of digital banking for our customers. Okay, and so what makes Como different, right? I think today there are a lot of digital banking services, digital banks, licenses coming out. So these are really the three major things that we wanted to focus on. The first is, we focus on savings and investment, as opposed to some maybe wallets or other digital banks that have maybe a focus on transactions. We actually try to not only cover transactions but focus on the growth part, or the growing of your finances. The second aspect is also really the collaboration that we have with our customers. We really learn through the direct conversations that we have through our Como Unity. That's actually the group that we have on Facebook, where we have our customers who actually share, where they can share questions, share their experiences, and also post and interact with us in a very kind of balanced way. So we actually try to focus on having kind of that organic relationship with our customers. And lastly, Como is actually backed by an established local bank, which I think a lot of the digital banks that we have out there are more foreign players coming in. So Como is actually under East West Rural Bank, but the parent of East West Rural Bank is East West Universal Bank. And so having, again, that local presence, that local experience has provided us also a lot of strength in building up and developing Como. Okay, so I now, move on to kind of what we offer. Right now we have two main products, but a lot of features and services at Como. We wanted to highlight two. The first is our digital savings account, which focuses again on relatively high interest rates in this environment. We provide 2.5%, up to 2.5% for our interest rates. And we also have our True Flex insurance product. And this is, the first DIY, fully customizable insurance that you can buy on your mobile phone. And it's completely affordable, where you can actually get insurance for as low as like a few hundred pesos. I think it's like 200 to 300 pesos. So it's something, again, that's very relevant for kind of the target market and the target segment that we kind of set out to also attract with Como. Okay, so we also move on kind of, how, for people who are interested, how do we sign up? Well, this is kind of a video that's being shown on our account opening process. And, account opening was one of the journeys that we found to be, kind of a moment of truth for our customers, and something we had to focus on in getting right, because it was the first impression of Como. So a lot of it had to do with opening an account in merely I think it's 8 minutes. Like, it's very easy. You only need one ID. And we also have electronic KYC. So everything is also kind of AI powered. and also that you could actually do a lot of customization. So I think the video you're seeing now is the EKYC capture. So all you have to do is kind of put your ID there. You scan it, and then it will be able to get kind of a picture of it front. This is, I think, the picture of it from the front. And then we move on with also kind of taking it from the back. And then you also see now here you have to do a selfie, right? And so these are all parts of the guards as well that we place in ensuring that Como is, a very safe community. And so that was kind of like the full journey that we had on account opening. So we move on as well to kind of funds transfers, which is another key element. This was the second journey where we found out that most customers actually do on their online or mobile banking applications. You look at your balance and you look at and you do and you send some transfers. So in a nutshell, that was like we tried to make it as seamless as possible. So while I was still talking about it, actually the process was already done. You can do it in 3 to 4 steps. We had a signature swipe movement for the funds transfer, so it's actually also fun. But the most important thing is it's fast, seamless, and reliable. So that was really the main kind of process that we had also when building kind of this journey for our customers. Okay, so we now move on to the next feature, which is I think a lot to do with kind of the everyday finances that people have to go through. So one thing we have is obviously convenient bills payment. The next feature that we have is also, if we move to the next slide, please, complete card control. So what I mentioned is that everyone who is a Como customer actually gets a Como debit card. And what can you do with the debit card? Not only can you customize your name on the debit card, you can actually manage or control the debit card from your phone. So you can activate it once you get it from our courier. You can also lock or unlock specific channels. You can change and actually set your PIN, and you can block the card and even replace it if you need to do so. And lastly, you can also actually track the delivery of your debit card all through the phone. So it's really an end-to-end debit card management that we have for customers here. Then the next thing we also have is self-service profile management. So I think a lot of bank customers, really struggle with, I changed my mobile number. Do I need to call the hotline? This through Como, you can do everything actually through the mobile phone again. You can set also more secure security features. So as we mentioned, rather than doing our passcode, actually you can also use your biometrics for login and transaction. So that's been also very helpful in terms of adding security to accessing and using your finances through Como. The next, a lot of it also that we get is the need to do obviously seeing your statement of account. And so one thing we have at Como is the on-demand bank statements. So it's very accessible. You can download it monthly, and it's very easy to also access. So that's also kind of a plus that we have. The next one is on bank certificate. So this was actually a feature we launched recently this year. So this also was a request from our customers that they wanted to have a certificate so they could use it for visa applications, loan applications. So again, completely seamless. You can do it on the app, and then you can easily download it and even customize it from the purpose that you would need the bank certificate for. So again, providing control and flexibility to our customers. And so those were some of the major, I think, features that Como has. Obviously, I didn't go through everything, but I wanted again to just have one snapshot of kind of the major things that we have. Again, bucketed into not just kind of transactional things, but talking about security, convenience, account management, and also our support. So we don't also just leave you hanging with the phone on your own. If you have issues with Como, we have support on social media. We have a hotline. We have email. And we also have our other channels that you can reach us through. So I think overall, it still provides a full banking experience without just the need to go to branches. So I think very convenient as well. Okay, so kind of this is like the summary that's been kind of our growth that we've seen. Like Como has really only been in the App Store Play Store since 2020 August. And so, we've just hit that 1 year mark, but we've seen again astronomical growth, not just in customers, but we also have a very active user base. And we're also seeing lots of savings being generated and deposits being generated also in Como. So we're seeing that, we've had a great beginning, but we are seeing that product market fit that I talked about earlier in the presentation, kind of being displayed here, right? So it's been a great start, but of course, as we mentioned, the third part of the presentation is about, what do we want to do moving forward, right? And where do we go from here? But, we've been very excited about, the performance of Como so far and what we've actually built. So that's kind of the end of my portion of the presentation. So I wanted to thank everyone for listening, and I'll now pass it on to Krisha, who will talk about kind of the third section on how did we actually kind of also build Como, or what principles we had regarding the growth of Como. So thank you.
Thanks, Isa. Hi, I'm Krisha, Komo's Chief Product Officer. So far, Isa's talked about why we built Komo and what Komo is all about. But from a concept to an actual product, how did Komo grow and where do we go from here? So on the next slide, we will be discussing the guiding principles that we used when we decided to build and grow Komo. The first principle that we had was to make customers the center of our universe. So prior to launching, we conducted customer research to understand our target market, what they need, what they want, and we even had ideation sessions with design specialists to come up with a brand design that represents Como and what it's all about. So ease of convenience, anything that's not like ordinary bank. From there, we built a user interface and a user experience that best suits our customers' needs and wants. Now, having said that, even after the public launch, we continued gathering data from our customers. So it didn't stop from the ideation stage. It continued up until we're already outside and tapping a lot of our customers. We reach out to our customers through surveys, customer satisfaction ratings, and we monitor and listen closely to what they have to say, even on our Facebook group, which is called Como Unity or Como Community. We're dedicated to listening to the pain points, needs, and wants of our customers. For instance, as Isa mentioned a while back, way back in Q4 2020, we've heard that bank certificate is one of the most requested features for the Chrome application. So we introduced it last Q2 of 2021. That's how fast we respond to our customer suggestions or wants. Now, on the next slide, you will see our second guiding principle, which is to follow best practices. We made sure that the number of screens or steps for our customers to complete their account application, their funds transfer, is at par with, or better yet, even better than the competition. So we designed the app to encourage habits of usage. We introduced saving favorites, save billers, and even follow design principles of Google, Apple, and other UXD pioneers. But having said that, we are also not afraid to be different. So on the next slide, you'll see what makes the UI UX of Como different. We still made our mark with our elegant and non-traditional color palette. It's fuchsia or almost like maroon for the application. And our debit card is steel, which is a stark comparison to the usual cards out there. And we also introduced fun and cool UI and UX, such as the swipe up to send money. And our maintenance pages are also very cheap and very clean as compared to the competition. The third guiding principle that we have is strengthening our fundamentals. So a lot of the features that Isa discussed a while ago isn't the bells and whistles that you expect on some of the new entrants in the system, but we did focus on making the Como experience faster with minimal to no errors and very convenient to our users. So if you compare with the competition, we also have a very fast response rate in terms of finishing the entire funds transfer flow. We have those pay notifications on reflection of payment, and we have ensured that every basic banking needs of our customers are already met. This October, we also introduced quality of life enhancements such as dashboard customization, wherein the users can specify which features they want to see on the dashboard so they can easily access those upon logging in. Next year, related to the strengthening of fundamentals, the next step, of course, would be to uh, focus on differentiation. So we are excited to introduce key differentiators that would make Komo stand out and stay true to its promise, which is kay Komo, control mo ang pera mo. Now, with those three key principles in mind, I think the actual action items that we found to be effective in making Komo grow are one, to focus on the customer first. I think that's very important. The second one would be to digitize what makes sense and what makes the customers earn more value from the usage. So even if it's something that's easy to digitize, if it doesn't bring value to the customers, then the point is moot. Now, for the third and fourth, which I will expound on later, the third one is to iterate the changes. Even monthly little changes that will enhance the experience of our customer is more important than just one big drop every quarter. And then the last is like building a team that's dedicated to the product and to the customer also. On iterating the launches, it's shown here. So we have slowly progressed from ideating in 2018 as a kickoff of the concept, actual piloting internally for 2019, and then doing a beta launch at the start of 2020. So we got more insights during that time frame where we tapped our internal users first. And then on August 2020, we publicly launched. And as of today, when we had already the first year of our public launch, we continue to expand our user base by providing a very steady service and also listening to our customers. Later on for 2020 will be an exciting year of innovation and differentiation for Komo, and we're excited to share this with everyone as we go along this journey. On the next slide shows the team that the Komo leadership has built. So Komo's leadership team brings together experience of over 50 years across banking, fintech, software development, management consulting. Internally also, we have 24 team members who are continuously improving the app experience and growing the user base, all of which are dedicated in bringing the best experience to our customers. So I think doesn't have to be said, but we're only just beginning. We have an exciting year ahead of us. You can manage, save, and grow your money with Komo. And if you have any comments, questions, or any opinions at all, you may reach us at k@komo.ph and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. For those interested or are keen to see how Komo applies to your day-to-day lives, you may download the app today by searching for Komo by East West on Android Play Store, Apple App Store, and Huawei App Gallery. The QR codes are shown here for the direct link where you can download the application. Thank you for your time, and we're looking for you to be joining our community.
Hi, we are Komo, East West Rural Bank's exclusively digital banking experience. We created Komo to disrupt the current banking and finance industry. We heard customers' pain points and decided to innovate how we do banking today. In an environment with low interest rates on savings, high fees and charges, and heavy reliance on face-to-face transactions, Komo reinvents all that with a smooth and easy digital banking experience in just one app. 3 in 5 bankable customers are more than willing to adapt to a digital banking experience. Combined with the shift to a new normal way of banking, there's a great need to provide financial services and payment solutions that are more accessible to Filipinos. The time to digitize our banking is now. And that's why Komo was born, to provide a better, faster, and more convenient way to bank. Because after all, control mo ang pera mo. To stand out, we are focusing on laying down strong foundations to earn the trust of our fellow Filipinos. We're backed by East West, an established local bank with over 25 years of expert banking experience in the Philippines. We listen closely to our customers and strive to be collaborative and transparent through our community. We focus on savings and investments, not just convenience, to enable our customers to build wealth by saving better and spending wisely. Our flagship product is a high-interest individual savings account with no minimum balance and up to 2.5% interest per annum. From our high-interest savings account to minimal fees and charges, to easy account opening, account and card management, and convenient bills payment, all you need from a banking app including statements of accounts, cashless transactions, and real-time transaction history, is right at your fingertips. All these features are packed in a secure app, safeguarded by tokenized OTP and biometric authentication for login and transactions. We've only just begun, and we plan to add even more products and services to suit the needs of our growing community. We want to simplify the lives of our customers by providing convenient, secure, and reliable services that guarantee improvement on the banking experience of every Filipino. This is Komo. Introducing Komo, a digital banking experience by East West. Komo lets you earn higher interest on your savings, enjoy free ATM withdrawals, make instant fund transfers, and a whole lot more. Download the app for free on Play Store, App Store, or App Gallery, and open an account today with just one valid ID. For more information, visit www.como.ph.